Is Sony really the bad guy in the dissolution of the relationship between Sony and Disney over Spider-Man and his involvement in the MCU? I don't necessarily think so, but a lot of people some are vilifying Sony, and I get it from an emotional standpoint, but from a logical standpoint, I can kind of see, where Sony's coming from. The genesis of this is, I'm on Polygon.com, and they basically summarize what was first released to the public regarding this situation. I think earlier in the week, that Disney asked that future Spider-Man films be a 50-50 co-financing arrangement between the studios. And there were discussions that this might extend to other films in the Spider-Man universe, like other Spider-Man characters, basically the Spider-Man family, like Venom, Black Cat, and anyone else they'd make movies about in that corner of, the Marvel Comics realm. Sony turned that offer down flat. Sony proposed keeping the arrangement going under the current terms where Marvel receives in the range of 5% of first dollar gross, sources said. Disney refused. Now that initially right there, I think that Marvel was asking for too much, right? Because I think that when it comes to Spider-Man, I think they get 100% of the merchandising, like toy sales and stuff like that, and I think video games, right? So if they get 100% of that money off Spider-Man, and also 50% of everything he makes from all the movies, and all his other characters too, like Venom and stuff, then basically they get the majority of profits from Spider-Man. And basically it's like Sony doesn't co-own it anymore. Disney owns the whole character completely, and Sony's just getting, a relatively small percentage. If you just total up like 50% of the movies and all of the merchandise from the toys and stuff, it's Marvel getting a majority of the Spider-Man pie. And, Sony was probably saying, you're asking for too much. Why not maybe instead of a 50-50 split of the movies, maybe 15 or 20% and cut us into some of the merchandising? Because we are supposed to be 50-50 or, joint partners, but you're asking for a complete dominance and not a partnership. And I think that's what happened. I think that Marvel should have countered by lowering their price a bit. And maybe they still will. I don't know. A lot of people are saying at this point it's over, but I don't know if it's completely over. I think that, they could still work something out. But I don't think Sony's going to back down. As much as people in the press and Marvel fans on Twitter and stuff are trying to slam them, shame them, I don't think they're going to do it. They're just going to suffer the blows, so to speak, in their image and see if they can make, Sony Spider-Man movies themselves, quality-wise, without Marvel. Now, Marvel and Kevin Feige's involvement is a big reason why Spider-Man's been so successful lately. I understand where Marvel's coming from. They definitely have earned, their place as co-owners, right? Spider-Man being a part of the MCU and, the Marvel writers and producers and directors have helped get him there. Because before Marvel got involved, Sony was having problems with the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. But, Sony is capable of making good Spider-Man movies. They did it when the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were out. Venom was a hit. I know they said Kevin Feige was involved with Venom, but I don't know. I think that the Sony people had more to do with why Venom was successful than Kevin Feige did. Not saying Kevin Feige didn't do anything, but, people trying to act like he was the sole reason Venom turned out to be a surprisingly successful movie, they're over-exaggerating. So, reading between the lines, I don't think Marvel was trying to continue with being partners with Sony. I think they were trying to take control of Spider-Man away from Sony. Even though on paper, Sony's co-partners, they would be making less of the money than Marvel would. So in a sense, that would be Marvel taking complete or mostly majority control if they got most of the profits. So, I don't really see Sony as a bad guy. I think they saw Marvel as people trying to muscle in on them and strong-arm them, as, Disney likes to do these days because they have the power to do it, and I think they can be a bit greedy. And I understand that if you're as successful as Disney and Marvel are, I can see how that can make you big-headed. But I just think they need to just settle down and, lower, their asking price or their request. Instead of 50%, maybe hey, Sony, how about 15 or 20%? And maybe you can get a little bit of the merchandising instead of us getting all of it. And forgive me if I'm wrong about the merchandising terms. I had thought that under the current arrangement, Marvel and Disney get 100% of the toy profits and stuff. And, t-shirts and things like that. But if that is incorrect, okay, sorry. But I think they do. But anyways, Marvel, I think, was asking for too much. Disney was. And I think they've got to just back it down a bit. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.